Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakakwadash, Mama. I want to give a double honor to the elders of GMS and the salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm the Karban Yasharala, coming out of the GMS Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today I'll be coming out with another little quick lesson, and the title of that lesson is Contrary Forces. Without further ado, I'm going to just get right into the scriptures. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with darkness? Like, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Don't be tied into somebody that don't believe like you believe, don't believe the truth. Because 10 out of 10, there's going to be a disagreement somewhere, and they're not going to believe. Be ye not unequally yoked with unbelievers. You're a believer, they're unbelievable. They're not going to believe the truth. Contrary forces. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? Like, seriously, what does righteousness have to do with unrighteousness? Nothing. They are contrary forces. They oppose each other like a magnet. They repel each other away. Somebody that's walking the path of righteousness, somebody that's believing, they're going to walk a straight and narrow path. Somebody that don't believe, that's walking the path of unrighteousness, they're going to be here, there, and everywhere. And they're going to always have an I feel opinion based off what they feel and what they think the truth should be, when the truth is set up to be what it is. Continuing. And what communion has light to do with darkness? Like, what communion has light with darkness? Like, they're contrary forces. They don't come together. Light and dark don't come together and be chilling together. Like, what is light and dark gonna make? Dim? No, light is light, dark is dark. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So if you a believer and you saying you believe in Yahweh Hashem Shai and you believe this truth wholeheartedly and in truth and in sincerity, don't be caught up with nobody that don't believe like you don't believe it. Why? Because y'all will be contrary forces. Y'all will be opposing forces. You will be speaking righteousness and the other person will be speaking unrighteousness. Contrary forces. This is Sirach chapter 13. I'm going to read verse 17. For what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? Like, what fellowship does a wolf have with a lamb? A lamb will eat a wolf or devour a wolf. Eat, tear it to pieces, rip it to shreds. So the sinner with the godly. Same thing with the sinner and the godly. The sinner and the godly don't have nothing to do with each other. See, the sinner, gonna get, when it comes out of these scriptures, somebody that's godly, that's really walking with Yahweh Hashem Shai in truth and in sincerity, guess what? That godly person is going to rip that sinner to pieces when it comes down to the doctrine and the scriptures. Because why? The scriptures are going to condemn that sinner. And only Yashar Allah, only Israel can be sinners. They're the only ones can sin. And by the way, sin is transgression of the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Shai. That's sin. And our people are sinners. So sinners, they are transgressors. They are continually breaking the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Shai. But again, verse 17 of Sirach 13, what fellowship has the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. What fellowship does right and wrong have to do with each other? That's basically what this whole thing about. What does light and dark have to do with each other? Nothing. They are contrary forces. So you got to be careful. If you say you really truly believe in, you got to be careful. Back in Corinthians, you can't be yoked together with somebody that don't believe. You can't be tied up and cahoots up with nobody that don't believe. Even if you just not coming to this light, coming to the truth of knowledge of who you really are and whose you are and who Yahweh Hashem Shai is, you have to come like whatever you was doing before then, and you got to leave that stuff alone. You got to walk away from it, because now the Heavenly Father is changing you into something that is of righteousness, and you can't have no communion with the world. Like, you can't be still hanging around people that if you used to smoke weed, you can't hang around people that just smoke weed. Like, point blank, period. Because why? Because they're doing the things of the world, and you're believing on the scriptures and the truth of Yahweh Hashem Shai. You can't do it. Now, they can do what they want to do. You can't tell them they can't do that. But if you know the truth and you know how it's supposed to go, and you believing, you got to walk according to Yahweh Hashem Shai. And you can't be linked up with the world. You can't be friends with the world, because that is enmity, by the way, not enmity. It's actually enmity, ENMITY, with the Most High. That makes you a contrary force. It makes you an opposing force to the Heavenly Father. And 2/3 of our people are contrary. They are contrary force. They don't believe in the scriptures. Continuing. Verse 18. What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? What agreement is there between a hyena and a dog? Seriously. The hyena is part of the dog family, nonetheless. But a hyena is a wild animal. A dog is a domesticated animal. That dog get out there with that hyena is going to rip that dog to shreds. And hyenas eat everything. Everything. So the same thing goes for this. It's just like, what fire and water? There is no relation. They are contrary forces. One is wet, one is hot. One burns, one cools. Hot and cold. You don't see snow falling in the summertime. Again, what agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? And what peace between the rich and the poor? If you look at this society, the rich don't give a goddamn about the poor. They don't care nothing about the poor. As a matter of fact, the rich hate the poor. So guess what? The poor and the rich don't have nothing to do with each other. Why? Because one is rich and one is poor. Opposing forces, contrary forces to each other. Verse 20. I'm going to skip to verse 20. As the proud hate humility, so does the rich abhor the poor. See, as the proud hate humility. Somebody that's proud, lofty, arrogant, lifted up, wanton, they hate humility. They don't like being humble. Contrary forces. Pride and humility are contrary forces. They oppose each other. And it says, so does the rich abhor the poor. The rich hate the poor. They don't care if the poor stays poor or get even poorer. Slocky, bear with me a little bit. This is Proverbs 17 and 7. It says, excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less lying lips a prince. See, excellent speech becometh not a fool. You're not going to hear a foolish person out here speaking excellently. Excellent speech. You're not going to hear any foolish people speaking righteousness, according to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Excellent speech and foolish people, wisdom and foolishness, they're contrary forces. This is much less do lying lips a prince. A prince, some person that's a prince or rulership, you're not going to hear them speaking wickedness. They're contrary to each other. Somebody that's like a prince, all right, let's say a righteous prince, you're not going to hear lying words come out of his mouth. You're not going to hear him speak anything but righteousness. So basically, what does wisdom have to do with a fool, and unrighteousness have to do with somebody that's righteous? This is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 10. Salakia. It says, delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. Delight is not seemly for a fool. Righteousness is not seemly. Wisdom is not seemly for a fool. A fool despises wisdom. A fool hates wisdom. Somebody that's unrighteous don't get on with righteousness. They are contrary forces. And it says, much less for a servant to have rule over a prince. Like, what does a servant have to do with ruling over a prince? Like a servant doesn't tell a prince what to do. The prince tells the servant what to do. Contrary forces. This is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth at the gate. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth at the gate. A fool ain't going to ask questions. He ain't going to raise up his voice to know and understand wisdom. He's not going to do it. A fool hates wisdom. contrary forces. My last point. This is Wisdom of Solomon, verse 1. Salakia, chapter 1, verse 3. For the forward thoughts separate from Yahweh, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. See, forward thought, perverse thought separate you from the Heavenly Father. When you are thinking crazy, when you are in your la'ab and you're not thinking to follow the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, and you're thinking perversely, you're going in these other doctrines, these other ways of beliefs and philosophies, that separates you. That makes you a contrary force to the Heavenly Father and his power. And when it is tried, it said reprove the unwise. And then when the Heavenly Father tries your la'ab, or he tries you in righteousness, guess what? It reproves it. It corrects the unrighteousness, unwise. Salakia. Verse 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. Wisdom will not enter into a malicious soul, a wicked soul, a wicked person. Wisdom is not going to enter into your la'ab, so that the Heavenly Father can come in, or send his Son to come in, his Spirit to come in and sup with you, so that you can understand and learn the scriptures of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Again, for into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. Wisdom ain't gonna dwell in nobody, in your la'ab, in your person that is subject to sin. Contrary forces. Yet again, right ain't gonna deal with wrong. It don't work. Oil don't mix with water. Light and dark don't go together. They don't have no communion. Unrighteousness and righteousness don't nothing. They don't have no fellowship. Okay, Khan, that was it. But yeah, this was just another quick little lesson. And pray and hope it was edifying through the power and spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. But yeah, contrary forces. If you believe in this truth wholeheartedly and sincerely, you can't you just like Corinthians say, 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. You can't be yoked together with somebody that don't believe. You know, right and wrong don't have nothing. Righteousness and unrighteous don't have nothing to do with each other. Light and dark, no communion. What does the wolf have to do with the lamb? What is between the hyena and the dog? Nothing. They're contrary forces. Shalom.